What's the difference between invention and innovation? Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of The Future in 5. My name is Jacob Morgan. This is where I share thoughts, ideas, and commentary on the future of work in 5 minutes or less. I want to give a big thanks to the folks over at Work Market for making this episode of The Future in 5 possible. Work Market's a vendor in the freelance management system space. They help organizations and freelancers find each other, find projects, find gigs, and connect. As a thank you, I'd really love it if you go check out workmarket.com. I'd appreciate it. They would definitely appreciate it as well. I spend a lot of time exploring the freelancer economy. I use a lot of freelancers. And as we continue to shift towards that direction in the future of work, we're going to see why platforms and systems like this are becoming increasingly more valuable. They also have some really cool content on their website. Again, that's workmarket.com. So let's get right into this week's topic, which is the difference between invention and innovation. There are a lot of debates around this topic and around this theme and what it means, and I wanted to share my perspective on it because I'm going to be giving some talks on this in the coming weeks and in the coming months. I actually wrote a series for Forbes called The Innovation Ecosystem, and I explored 5 different types of innovation models for employees, for managers, innovating with your customers, innovating with your partners and your suppliers, and innovating with the general public. And those 5 things together create an innovation ecosystem. And that led to some interesting conversations around, well, what is innovation? What is invention? And so here's my take on it, at least. Invention is is creating an ability. It's creating the ability to do something. So, I'll get to the examples in a minute. Innovation is taking that ability and being able to apply it at scale and create market penetration and get a lot of people to use that ability. And so a good example that I like to use, which I'm sure is going to be controversial, some of you might not agree with this, is Google Glass. Was Google Glass an invention or was it an innovation? I would classify it as an invention. It gave us the ability to do something, but it really didn't have much market impact. Other organizations are building on top of that invention to create an innovation, to create something that we can all use. But Google Glass really didn't much have market impact as far as a lot of people using it, and as far as it changing, the way we work or the way we live. It didn't really have much impact there. I'm sure eventually it will, but for now, it's just an invention, not an innovation. And look at something else like the iPhone or the iPod or pretty much any Apple products. Those are innovations. Those are abilities that were created and then distributed at scale to allow a lot of people to use them, to experience them, and they had dramatic impact on how we work and or live. So the difference between invention and innovation, I would say that invention is creating this ability, creating this concept to do something. Innovation is taking that ability and adding impact to it. So innovation is invention plus impact. Curious to hear what you think. How would you define innovation and how would you define invention? Like I said, I know there are a lot of conversations around this topic. There are a lot of debates going back and forth. I'm sure not everyone's going to agree with me around Google Glass, but that's fine. My opinion, that's why I share my commentary, thoughts, and ideas on this channel. But still, like I said, curious to hear what you think. It's a fascinating discussion. You can leave me a comment below. You can also send me an email, jacob@thefutureorganization.com, if you're interested in sponsoring an episode of The Future in 5 and podcasts and articles, etc. If you want to get access to more content, visit thefutureorganization.com. And as usual, you can find me on Twitter @JacobM. I'll see you next time on an episode of The Future in 5. Hey, are you interested in the future of work? If so, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get all the latest content on the future of work and stay up to date on all the latest trends and happenings. Not to mention, you will make me very, very happy. Make sure to subscribe.